I am one of 10 vice presidents that Ann worked under here in her fine career at St. Mary's, which means I'm also one of 10 vice presidents who got free counseling, working through tangled situations that only college students and their parents can create. But honestly, I'm truly honored to be able to introduce Ann, to publicly thank her for many, many contributions. And unfortunately, most of the contributions that Ann has made here are confidential. But I will tell you that they require a great deal of compassion, a great deal of tact, skill, resilience, and Kleenex. Ann's contributions come in the form of thousands of face-to-face transformational conversations. And they're conversations about difficult subjects: stress, fear, chemical dependency, sexual assault, eating disorders, death, and mental disease. All the things that we don't like to think about and things that we try to avoid. But these are the conversations that Ann did every single day. She faced them, and she not only did that, but she used it as an educational vehicle to help our young students grow physically, emotionally, spiritually, ultimately leading them to that path and that passage to adulthood. So Ann, thank you for counseling. Thank you for teaching. Thank you for comforting, supporting our students and their families. Thank you for mentoring young counselors and student life staff and me. And thank you for sharing your grace, your caring, your common sense, your humor, but above all, your wisdom with the St. Mary's family.
I too was one of the VPs that worked with Ann between 1992 and 1995, and again between 2001 and 2005. I think one of the experiences that she is most grateful for is when I told her that the Counseling Center, which was located on the second floor of St. Mary's Hall, overlooking the beautiful park of Mary's and Heffern, would merge with health services and become the wellness center and relocate to the basement. I'm still in therapy, physical therapy. One of the things I have been impressed with Ann is her commitment to St. Mary's and the young people she has served throughout the years. I want to applaud how she, as the majority of you sitting in this room, have over the years left this campus at the end of the day to go home and care for a spouse, a parent, a child, a friend, and or a daughter, and in Ann's case, her beloved alma mater, the College of St. Teresa. Ann has done all of this, and particularly when caring for her mother, she has done so with grace. And I can only imagine how difficult it must have been to keep your mind and heart present to the students who sat before you and shared their plight. And you did so with dignity and affirmation, sending them the message that they have value and they are precious. All the while knowing that you will need to assist him or her in navigating through some of the difficult obstacles as they move into adulthood. Over the years, Chris and I have both dealt with several tragedies on this campus, Chris more than I. After the death of one of our students in 2001, Ann and the counselors put in some very long days, as did the entire student life staff. But at one point, Ann stopped in my office and said, "How are you doing?" 4 simple words that may seem insignificant, but meant a great deal to me. Ann was attentive not only to our students, but to her colleagues. So Ann, thank you for all you have done for St. Mary's, and I wish you the best.
Chris, and thank you, Brother Pat, and to all of you collectively, and to others who preceded you, thank you. I assure you I could not have been up here 28 years later after my beginning without the support of many, many people. Where your talents and the needs of the world meet, there lies your vocation. A very wise man that some of you have heard of, Aristotle, said that. In this context, I really can't think of another career that would have been as personally fulfilling to me than the one that I've had at St. Mary's. Now, I assure you, my middle name is not Pollyanna. The work was demanding at times. I looked forward to academic breaks also. And really, I don't think a window would have been too much to ask for my office. Really. In spite of that, I can honestly say, when I look at this program, I wish my name were under the 5-year service awards because I could do it all again, over again, and I would enjoy it again. If I were to thank all of those who supported me along the way, these brief remarks would become very long remarks, and I have enough wisdom to know that that would not be appreciated by anyone here. So I'll try to fit some thanks into some broad categories. First of all, there's those who prepared me for this job. You know, over and over, I talk to students on their way to adulthood, their journey and their way through adulthood, and say, you have to learn to live with mystery and with uncertainty in the adult world. And that's true for all of us as we look forward. When I look back, I can see some patterns that sometimes are filled with unfortunate events, some that I didn't understand, and some that seemed totally random. But now a lot of them seem to fit. I can start with thanks to my parents. My dad is sitting over here next to my husband. Dad's 91 years old, and he told me just last week, never stop learning. And he and my mother certainly modeled that as we were growing up, and they valued education, and they saw that I and my 3 brothers got a good education. What better place is there than a university to keep on learning? And I did. And I especially value that the university that I ended up at is one that has as part of its mission to promote a faith dimension and to realize that there is a reality that's larger than anything that we know and will ever understand. So that's been a blessing. I also do thank many educators and mentors, including, as was mentioned, all those that I had at the College of St. Teresa, where I was a very reluctant and rebellious freshman. I didn't understand why I was there. I had some adjustment issues. And certainly that, I now refer to that as my internship period, because I've used that over and over and over here at St. Mary's. I interviewed for a position in the Counseling Center on August 7th, 1985. I started here on August 15th, 8 days later. I had a lot to learn. And there were people in the beginning that helped me, that showed me the way that I relied on, and I'm very grateful to all of them. As I said, I'm not going to name names, but I am going to make the first public promise of my retirement, which is that I'm going to be thanking many people in the next few months personally. I thank all of you, as I said at the beginning, because it's a collegial experience. I enjoyed having conversations with faculty. I particularly appreciated it when you made it okay for a student to come to counseling, because that's kind of scary sometimes. I appreciate all the staff and faculty. I appreciate especially those in student life that I worked with so many years. You know, we talk about St. Mary's teaching minds and touching hearts, and we all do a lot of that. But I always thought that the touching hearts part was our particular mission in student life. More than anyone, I thank the students. And as it was mentioned, I have so many stories. If I could come up with a good pseudonym for myself at St. Mary's, I'd have a great book, I think. But I treasure the many, many, many conversations I had. I know that there's always unsung heroes in our midst, in your their classroom, people struggling with private things. And every one of those students also enriched my life. I was there supposedly to help them. They have no idea how much they helped me by enriching my life. I also want to thank my husband, Tom. He's 66. Does he get an applause too? He's also St. Mary's College class of 1968. My son Tom is St. Mary's 92, 96, 95. Will is a graduate student here. I don't even know what year.
2002.
Okay. My son Drew is not here, and he didn't go to St. Mary's, but he was smart enough to marry a woman who did. And my daughter Claire is in Chicago. She did not go to, she went to St. Mary's College in South Bend. So we're pretty tightly connected to St. Mary's one way or another. All these men in my life were not enough to get me to retire, but suddenly I had 6 grandchildren within 5 years, and I knew that I had to give up something. And it wasn't going to be the grandchildren. So we have one more on the way, and my first days of retirement will be very much filled with family. So thank you, for caring. Thank you for sharing your life with me. Know that I will be keeping you in my heart and in my prayers, and keep on doing the good work that's entrusted to all of us. Thank you.
Congratulations, and thank you, Ann, for your commitment and your service. I invite Dr. Roger Kugel to join Brother William on stage, and I ask Dr. Phil Cochran to come forward to share some reflections on Roger's time at St. Mary's University.